bit of a flashpoint in the Bournemouth Spurs game at the weekend. Lucas Moura and a ball boy. I don't know if you saw this, Simon, or read about it. The ball boy picked up the ball as it went out of play, didn't send it back to Tottenham with any degree of urgency. Yep. Moura moved in, tried to grab it from him. The pair wrestled for possession. Bournemouth substitute Jadon Anthony ran over to push back on Moura. The whole affair saw the ball boy led away by Stewart from the touchline and then down the tunnel.
Yeah.
I mean, ball boys, are they being used for the fine margins here?
They shouldn't be. I mean, I get the reasons why they are, and I get the reasons that we might have done it during my time, which was, getting the multi-ball into play and getting balls quickly into you when you want it and slow into the opposition, or the other way round, depending on the stage of the game.
You ball boys for this, did you?
Yeah, I think a lot of clubs at the time did it for a period of time, but I don't much like it because I don't think that a ball boy is part. First of all, we're spending time arguing about how much time the ball's in play, so we really don't want ball boys holding the ball back just because it suits them to. And secondly, I think it puts an undue amount of confrontation into a situation, as we've just seen. It's not happened. This is not something that hasn't happened before, and I don't feel it's in keeping with the nature of the sport. I mean, what we're going to have next? Stewards suppressing the away crowd from singing because we want less noise from the away crowd and more noise from the home crowd. No, I don't like it. I don't think it's appropriate. I think it will cause flashpoints, and I think it's unnecessary. And I think it's unsportsmanlike to some extent.
Yeah. Okay. Hope the ball boy's okay. I mean, it got to a bit of an extreme level, didn't it? He's led down the tunnel by a steward.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it. I mean, I've read about it, but I mean, we've seen this before with players trying to get a kid a ball off. I think it was a Chelsea game.
It was in Hazard, yeah.
And they're young boys.
Kind of kicked it from under his
and they're going to
body.
be told what to do because obviously you have people that train the ball boys to be able to do things in a certain way. And I think I do remember the guy that trained our ball boys at Palace, Darren, I think his name was, to work with multi-balls so that we can get balls into play quicker for our team. And not so much for the opposition.
So you were up to it as well then? This shock revelation.
And when I became
morning.
privy to it, I put a stop to it immediately.
Of course you did.
Indeed I did.
Let the ball boys be ball boys.
Yes.
Patrick Vieira, I don't know if he's ever been a ball boy. Pep was, wasn't he? Patrick Vieira reached the milestone of 50 Premier League games in charge of Palace at the weekend. Simon, tell me what you think. Marks out of 10. Vieira in charge so far.
Good. A really good transition. He comes in with a whole raft of baggage because it's Patrick Vieira, irrespective of the fact he's had a couple of managerial roles in Nice and New York City, which were okay. Didn't pull up any trees at Nice, went and cut his teeth in New York City as part of the Man City group, as part of the City group, so learnt his trade in sort of meaningless football in the MLS, but gave him an experience in management. And I think he's presided over a decent transition. Roy Hodgson had run his course and had done his job at Palace, which was stabilise them in the Premier League and give them a base, and it was becoming a little bit repetitive. He's come in, he's got a nice balance of stability with also expressive football. He's got good players in that side. Elise, Eze, Wilfried Zaha, obviously, Jordan Ayew. You've got good players in the middle of the park. Last year they took Conor Gallagher on loan from Chelsea and they've managed to miss him this season but still keep going forward in the right direction because he was a big miss at the beginning of the season. I think he's done well. I think he's proven himself to be capable of managing a Premier League side of a decent size. And I think it's good for both Palace and for him. I think he's done well.
One thing I never expected to see was Lionel Messi wearing the shirt of PSG.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he has been. Now we understand that with his contract scheduled to expire in the summer, the same Lionel Messi could be on the way. Now, I kind of thought, he's bound to go back to Barcelona. Maybe not, because on the scene appear one Inter Miami, coached by none other than Phil Neville, who expect Messi to arrive and hope that he'll sign for them in the coming months. Messi in the MLS, can you see it?
Well, it's a strange fit, isn't it? Because the MLS won't start until April next year, and I'm assuming they're thinking that he's going to release from his contract at the end of next year and go out to the MLS and finishes in October. So he's going to be there for 4 or 5 months. Let's be fair. He hasn't set the world on light, light in PSG, has he?
Hasn't done too badly. I saw some of the goals at the weekend.
Well, I mean, he's played 38 games and scored 12 goals, 13 goals. That's not Lionel Messi-esque, is it? That's not the statistics that we have associated with him. It was a move that was born out of economic need. Barcelona could not afford, despite the protestations of those well-heeled journalists like Martin Samuel, that they're in a position to be able to do precisely what they want, and that's to the detriment of people like Newcastle. They couldn't retain him on his ridiculous salary. He's gone to PSG with a big fanfare, and I don't think that fanfare has been repaid in terms of his achievement. He's 35 years of age. He's 2 years younger than Ronaldo. You'd like to think, if he thinks he's still a serious footballer, he's not going to America, is he?
No, you wouldn't think so.
If he still thinks he's a competitive, I mean, let's be honest, he's a genius of a footballer. But we're like everything runs its course. So I'd be disappointed to see him land in Planet Hollywood.
Yeah,
in Beckham's circus.
The land of no promotion or relegation.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not serious football for Lionel Messi. This isn't the New York Cosmos of the 1970s, when bringing over Pele or
Cruyff.
Paul Breitner or Johan Cruyff or whoever else they got there, Rodney Marshall, the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and all that sort of crowd. This is arguably the world's greatest player at still a stage in his career where he should be able to perform in the elite leagues. So going to America, I don't know what that says at this stage at 35. You think, because he hasn't carried a lot of injuries, has he, Lionel Messi? He's played a lot of games, but it isn't a success. I don't think his trip to Paris has been a success currently.
No.
By his standards.
It raised a few eyebrows when he went, and certainly still does. When you see him appearing for Paris Saint-Germain, you think, is that Messi? Did he really leave Barcelona to go there? But he did. And of course, the finances have all made it happen. Simon, I'm in agreement with you. I can't really see him. The MLS, Messi, no, maybe doesn't add up for me. We shall see. Maybe Phil Neville, not for the first time in his career, will surprise more than a few of us.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.